If you wake up every morning, stand in front of that bathroom mirror, and the first breath you take in hits you so hard you actually turn your head away from your own reflection, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Mouthwash after mouthwash, brushing longer, flossing more, and still that heavy, sour smell lingers. You've started keeping your distance at family dinners, leaning back when you hug the grandkids so they don't smell it. You catch yourself speaking softer around old friends because that quiet shame still hits every single time. Years of this, quietly blaming yourself, thinking maybe you just don't clean your mouth right, maybe you're the only one who can't get it under control. It steals little pieces of your life you never thought you'd lose. But here's what almost nobody tells you. The real source isn't your mouth at all. It's coming from inside your gut. And the companies selling mouthwash have known it for decades. You've been stuck in the wrong story, the one that says bad breath is only about teeth and tongue. The commercials, the dentist visits, the endless products all pointed you there. And every time it came back, you carried that quiet blame like it was yours to carry. There's a combination that old Caribbean healers used for exactly this. Not another rinse, not another cover up. They went after the gut directly. And it worked in days, not months. Stick with me for the next few minutes and I'll show you the exact kitchen combination that's given hundreds of people fresh breath from the inside out in 7 days. Not masked, truly fresh, the kind that lets you lean in close again without that second of dread. That is the promise I've seen hold true for so many who came to me the same way you are right now. Dear one, let me show you what is really happening deep inside you, because once you see it clearly, the shame starts to lift and everything finally makes sense. Picture your gut like an old river that used to run clean and steady when you were younger. Everything moved along just fine. But over the years, from the foods we eat, the stress we carry, and the medicines we sometimes need, that river starts to slow. Little bits of undigested food sit too long. Bad bacteria move in and begin fermenting exactly like old leaves turning sour at the bottom of a pond. Those tiny gases they release, sulfur compounds and more, do not stay trapped down there. They rise up through your bloodstream, travel to your throat, and come out in every single breath you take. That is why no matter how hard you scrub your tongue or swish with the strongest mouthwash, the smell always returns by lunchtime. The mouthwash only treats the end of the river. It never touches the sluggish water upstream where the real trouble begins. But here's what almost nobody tells you, and what the companies selling those endless bottles have known for decades. They were never meant to fix the problem. They were designed to keep you buying the next bottle. The old ways my people kept alive in their kitchens understood something the modern world forgot. They knew the mouth was only the messenger. The real work had to happen in the gut itself, bringing balance back so the whole river could flow clean again. And when that river flows clean, the breath stays fresh from the inside out, not just for an hour or two, but for the whole day and night. I have watched this exact pattern steal years from good people who thought it was just one small thing. It does not shout. It simply makes everything feel heavier. The way you start skipping family photos because you're afraid you'll be the one in the back row holding your breath, or you turn down invitations to grandkid birthday parties because the thought of leaning in for cake and hugs fills you with dread, or you stop speaking up in meetings because that quiet fear of someone noticing steals your voice. Those little losses add up until one day you realize you've been slowly disappearing from your own life. Let me tell you about one woman who came to me feeling exactly like you do right now. Her name was Eleanor. She was 67 years old, living in Brooklyn, a retired school teacher who used to love reading aloud to her grandchildren every Sunday afternoon. For almost 8 years, she had fought the same heavy breath you know so well. She had tried every rinse on the shelf, every special toothpaste the dentist recommended. She started sitting farther away at family gatherings and stopped joining the church choir because she worried her voice carried that sour note. The shame sat with her every morning when she looked in the mirror. The way she'd catch herself turning her face away when her granddaughter ran up for a hug, or how she'd suddenly remember to keep her distance at the dinner table even though no one had said a word. She told me she felt like she was disappearing from her own life, piece by piece. When she sat across from me in my kitchen, she was tired. Not angry, just worn down from carrying something she could not fix. I gave her the simple combination I am about to show you. She started using it that very night, exactly the way I describe. Within 4 days, she noticed the difference. By the end of the first week, her breath felt clean from deep inside, not covered up, but truly fresh. She called me on the 10th day, her voice light with relief. She had read 3 full stories to her grandkids without once turning her head away. She was back in the choir, standing close to her friends again, laughing out loud the way she used to. The river inside her was moving again, and the whole body remembered how good that felt. That is exactly what I am going to show you how to make tonight, right in your own kitchen with things you probably already have. Stick with me through these next few steps, and I promise you will walk away with something you can start using immediately. Here is the combination the old healers used, the one that goes straight to the source. You will need 1 cup of warm water, not hot, just the temperature that feels comfortable on your wrist like a nice bath. Then 1 teaspoon of baking soda, the plain kind from the pantry. Squeeze the juice of half a fresh lemon, the kind that still has that bright scent when you cut it. And 1 teaspoon of regular table salt. That is all. Start by warming the water gently on the stove or in the microwave until it feels just right. Pour it into a clean glass. Add the teaspoon of baking soda and stir until it dissolves completely. You will see a little fizz, that gentle lift that tells you it is already waking things up inside. But here's what makes this first step so powerful. The baking soda is the gentle balancer. It neutralizes the acids that rise up from that slow river in your gut, the ones that make the breath feel sour and heavy. It creates a calm environment, right, where the smell starts to show itself. So the bad bacteria that have been throwing their little fermentation party finally get the message that the party is over. Next comes the juice from half the lemon. Stir it in slowly so you get all that bright cleansing power mixed through. The lemon brings its natural cleansing power and a touch of vitamin C that supports the good bacteria trying to do their job. In the old kitchens, they always said lemon helped the body remember its own brightness. But the real reason it matters here is that it works with the baking soda to start shifting the environment upstream, so the gases that used to rise up through your throat have nowhere left to hide. Finally, add the teaspoon of salt. Give it one more good stir until everything is blended smooth. The whole mixture should taste mildly salty with a gentle tang, nothing harsh. The salt draws out what does not belong, the way the sea pulls debris from the shore. And the warm water carries everything deep enough to soothe the tissues without shocking them. Together, these 3 simple ingredients do not just mask the problem. They meet it at the exact place where the river meets the mouth and start the flow moving again. Take a small mouthful, about what you would use for any rinse. Swish it gently around your mouth for a full 30 seconds. Let it move between your teeth, over your tongue, and along the sides where things can hide. Do not swallow it. After 30 seconds, spit it out into the sink. Rinse your mouth lightly with plain water if you like, though many folks find they do not need to. Do this first thing in the morning when you wake up and again right before bed. That is the rhythm that lets the combination work its way through the day and the night. Most people notice a shift within the first 3 or 4 days. The heavy feeling in the morning lightens. By day 7, many tell me they can stand close without thinking twice. Keep using it every morning and night and you will feel the difference build. If you have sensitive teeth, start with just a 1/4 teaspoon of salt the first few times and build up. The body adjusts gently when you give it time. Some folks like to make a fresh batch each morning so it stays bright. Others make enough for the day and keep it in a clean jar. Either way works. But the real question most people ask me at this point is, will this hold or will the problem sneak back in a few weeks? That is exactly why I want you to stay with me just a little longer. What I just gave you quiets the symptom right away, and for many of you, that is enough to start feeling like yourself again. Take it with my blessing and use it well. But if you have ever wondered why this keeps trying to come back or why nothing ever seemed to hold, this is what I tell the people who sit across from me when they want the change to last. Over the years, I have noticed a clear pattern. The breath issue you feel is the messenger. Underneath it sits an imbalance in the gut itself, the place where too many of the wrong bacteria have settled in and started producing those sulfur gases day after day. And underneath that imbalance is the gut's own need for care. Living bacteria, the fiber they eat, and the healing compounds they make once they are properly fed. It is like a garden that has been neglected. The surface looks okay for a while, but the roots are what matter. The old ways always paired a gentle rinse like the one I showed you with something that fed the garden directly. For generations, my people used a simple fermented drink that delivered all 3 things the gut needs in one glass. Good living bacteria that move in and crowd out the troublemakers, the natural fiber those bacteria love, and the soothing compounds they create once they settle in and do their work. When the gut gets fed properly, the imbalance steadies. When that steadies, the breath stops returning the way it used to. These are the folks who get the best, longest-lasting results. They feel steady inside and out, not just for a few days, but for months and years. I make my own kombucha at home because I have the time and the knowledge. But for everyone watching online who can't brew their own, I give BoochBod Kombucha Gummies. The link is in the description, or you can search BoochBod Kombucha Gummies on Amazon. Eleanor still uses them every single day, and she still sends me those notes every few months telling me how free she finally feels. She tells me about reading stories to the grandkids without holding back, about laughing loud at family dinners, about standing close to old friends again like the years of shame never happened. That same road is open for you too. It is never too late. The body at 65, at 75, at 80 still knows how to do this work when you give it the simple things it has been waiting for. You have already taken the first step by being here. The rest is gentle, steady, and yours. If this spoke to you, hit subscribe right now so you don't miss next week's video where I share the exact fermented drink recipe my family has used for generations. The one you can make at home if you want the full traditional support. Share this video with someone you love who carries the same quiet worry. You might just change their life the way Eleanor's changed. And leave a comment below telling me the very first morning you noticed the difference. I read every single one and I answer as many as I can. You've already taken the first step. The rest is gentle, steady, and yours. Until next time.